Hello patrons, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be soldering some platinum. Now this is going to be the sidewall component to a new pendant I'm working on. And really important thing with soldering with platinum is proper protective eyewear. Now these are platinum soldering glasses and you can get them at really any jewelry supply, but they are imperative. If you solder platinum without them, you can burn your eyes just from how bright platinum gets when you're soldering. And you'll see in just a second when I solder these. So I'm going to put on these glasses and then add some solder to these seams. Now with something like this where it's kind of a symmetrical design, I'm going to solder one side and then I'm going to test it with this top element and make sure everything is aligned, because with only one side soldered I can still adjust slightly to make it work. So that's something really important to keep in mind. And another nice thing with platinum is I don't need to use flux. I can just go ahead and add that little chip of solder right where I want it. And I also don't need to heat up the whole piece. I can just direct the flame right at where I want the solder to flow. So I'm actually just placing the solder with my tweezers. That's something that's also a little different than silver or gold, where I'm not balling it up. I'm just placing it right there over my seam. And I'm doing that before I have any heat going. And you'll see now that I'll get a pretty tight flame going. And with that, I can just direct it straight at that spot. Now the only thing I want to be careful of is not to blow this chip of solder away. And you can see when the solder flows, you see how bright that solder gets. Okay, so nice, that solder flowed down in that seam. Now here's another really important thing to keep in mind. You can see that I'm not soldering this on my solder board directly. Now the other thing with platinum, besides it burning your eyes, is because it gets so hot that if you use a normal solder board, it will melt into your solder board. And I don't need to tell you why that's super frustrating, so make sure you get a platinum solder board. Now this is actually a platinum crucible that you can get, again, from pretty much any jewelry supply, but it's important to get something specifically for platinum. If you have something for gold or silver, it will not work with platinum, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so before I solder the other side, I'm putting this top plate on just to make sure that I don't need to adjust this at all, and it looks good. So it's covering all the sides, and I want to make sure that it's not too far under or too far over. So it looks pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and solder this other side. Now the nice thing, when you've already soldered one side, is that you don't need to worry about it shifting anymore. It's kind of locked in place. So I'm going to put a little chip of solder there and then solder this other side. Alright, so I'm going to place this little bit of solder here, just like I did on the other side, and then go ahead and flow the solder. Now just remember, like I said before, I don't need to add flux or anything, which is really nice. It's one of the nicest things of working with platinum, is it's such a clean metal. Alright, but always remember, put on your safety glasses. With platinum especially. Sometimes you can get away with it with silver or gold. With platinum, don't take any chances. And I'm just holding the flame right there. Waiting till I see it flow down into that seam. There it goes. Just kind of double check, make sure it's down in there. Alright, looking good. So there you go. Now this piece is soldered together, and I'm going to trim both ends, but just so you can see, just soldering platinum is a little different than other metals, but if you go into it with the right soldering material, then you should be fine. But hope this helps. Either way, see you guys soon.